Hello. My aunt owns a food truck, and this is what the current tip jar looks like. It gets the job done, though I think we could make something better. My solution? A tip box. Originally, 6 metal sheets were going to be sheared, bent, and joined using rivets. Custom-made hinges connecting the lid of the box to the main body would allow the box to swing open, making money retrieval easier. A plastic insert would be placed in the hole at the top of the box, and 2D plastic chickens shown in the sketch at the top left would be created using resin and glued to the sides. After receiving feedback though, I decided to change the main body to wood, which simplified several aspects of manufacturing, allowing a better final product to be made. I started by first cutting out my panels using a table saw. I then used the router side of the table to cut out rabbet joints. To achieve my wanted design, I was able to use a Dremel with a router attachment to cut out the shape of a chicken. With my side and bottom pieces completed, I joined the pieces using glue, lining up the rabbet joints. Joints were chosen for both their simplicity and strength. I chose to use common wood for its price and availability, and the wood was fairly easy to handle, though it did chip more than I would have liked, which caused gaps to form when joining the box. Another advantage of wood in this design was that I did not need to create a top insert to protect people's hands, as I was able to sand out the edges of the wood, something that would have been difficult in my initial sheet metal design. I next created the component in the top right, first drilling out the rounded portion and milling away the remaining material. This component was used to create the rounded portion of the hinges. To create the hinges, I started by shearing the width and height of the hinges. I next cut out the right corner of the hinge and used the Dremel with a circular saw bit to remove the remaining cutout. With the material removed, I was able to first hammer out the starting curve of the hinges and use the hinge maker and a vise to press the hinges into its final shape. The hinges were initially made from aluminum, though when attempting to press the aluminum, it sheared every time. For this reason, I opted for steel instead. With the hinges made, I turned down a steel rod on the lathe until the hinges fit snugly around the pins. I then parted the pin and assembled the hinges. With the hinges and box made, I proceeded to mix and pour an epoxy resin into the wood cutouts made earlier. One of the advantages of this design is that I did not need to create a separate mold for the epoxy, simplifying the manufacturing process. Overall, I'm pleased with how the box turned out. Though, as it was my first time working with epoxy, I could have been more careful to better remove the bubbles when mixing the epoxy.